感谢季总的精彩演讲，让我们看到了航天云网在助力企业智慧化转型过程中的一些经验和探索。接下来，让我们直播连线来自法国的数字化转型倡导者及导师菲利普先生，他为我们带来演讲的题目是"智能复苏，推动智能中国"。
When the wind of change blows, some people build walls, while others build windmills. This is a very popular Chinese proverb, which I'm sure is going to resonate in our minds even more today during those unprecedented times. My name is Philippe Gerwill, and I am a French citizen working in Switzerland. I have more than 30 years of specialty chemicals, pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical industries experience, mainly in the manufacturing, supply chain and IT domains. I am a digitalization humanist, futurist and innovation call. Digitalization humanist means that I am a big fan of digitalization, but strongly advocating to have technologies serving humans and not the other way around. I am also an inspirational and TEDx speaker, as well as an official mentor at the Sherry Blair Foundation for Women in London, UK. Additionally, I have multiple senior advisory roles, mainly in Switzerland and UK, but also in Singapore and of course in China. The topic of today's presentation is Smart Recovery to boost Smart China. If some countries were affected at various degrees by the virus itself, there is barely not one single country in the world which is not going to feel an economic impact from the coronavirus worldwide pandemic. Lockdowns, unemployment, closing borders, travel bans, and many other measures have never been experienced at that level. Billions of people were or are still impacted today. Worldwide demand and supply have been totally shaken. Consumers and producers were impacted in a way that was never experienced before. While some of the most obvious examples were about PPE, personal protective equipment, like masks or blouses, or medical devices like defibrillators in the hospitals, but also everywhere else in many countries, some even more vital supplies, including food and its whole supply chain down to the distribution to citizens in lockdown situation, had to be reinvented. But reopening business and restarting that completely stopped economy is a far more complex challenge than it was to close it down, although that was already difficult enough. As an introduction, let's first quickly recap the key differences between smart and intelligent. Smart is an acquired quality and cannot be measured. Intelligent, on the other side, is an inherent quality and can be measured. We all have heard about IQ, the intellectual quotient. Intelligent is also the innate ability to acquire knowledge and may not always be practical. Smart is the acquired ability to apply the prior acquired knowledge, and it's always practical and has good judgment. We all have heard many of those smart terms: smart cities, smart home, smart manufacturing, and many more, of course. In that context, smart mostly refers to the usage of different types of electronic Internet of Things, IoT, sensors to collect data. Insights gained from that generated data or big data, often through artificial intelligence, are used to manage assets, resources, and service much more efficiently. It is also time to connect the dots and not only talk about IoT, big data, or AI in isolation, but to understand the bigger picture and how they all play together, like different pieces of the same puzzle. IoT plus big data plus AI plus 5G plus blockchain, etc. There are mainly 4 basic steps in the process. First, there are inputs. Millions, billions, or even trillions of sensors, captors, and meters collecting a huge volume of data from various sources. That is mainly the IoT space, which is, by the way, a perfect acronym, as it is a combination of IT, information technology, and OT, operation technology, or so-called engineering. In a second step, the data collected through those various devices is indeed becoming big data, which could be stored locally, but more meaningfully, it should be stored in the cloud. The third step is about using that big data, analyzing it, using sometimes sophisticated algorithms to get more insights, mainly through artificial intelligence, including machine learning and other techniques. The fourth step could be called the output, and it's basically the usage and application of those insights, mainly to improve and enhance the processes, products, or services. China is not only at leading edge in all those domains like IoT, big data, or AI, but another key factor in that construct or structure is of course also communication and networks. You need to transfer, communicate all this data and information between different parties. While there are many different communication technologies, China is not only at the leading edge, but even years ahead when it comes to topics like 5G technology. In October 2019, after my presentation about how 5G reframes industrial manufacturing in front of close to 2,000 people at the 16th Manufacturing International Forum in Tianjin, I was asked how I think that companies should solve the challenges of the higher investment and additional cost required for 5G that is mainly due to increased new hardware needs like routers, antennas, and so on. My answer was quite simple, and I made a simple analogy with cars. I just said that if the government wants you to drive cars, they invest into the road and other required infrastructure. They don't ask every single citizen to build his own road or highway. Same should happen when it comes to 5G. The government should invest more in the 5G infrastructure in order to have people and companies being able to ride on those 5G virtual highways. That was in October last year and before COVID-19. In the meantime, we have seen the direction that the Chinese government has taken when it comes to 5G technology, strategy, and investments. Another very important space in that construct is cybersecurity. By connecting this huge number of additional devices to the internet, we are adding many new potential backdoors for hackers and other cyber threats. Once more, China has an extensive experience acquired during many years compared to other countries when it comes to cybersecurity. I am actually also a big promoter of blockchain technologies in that space, and not only for cryptocurrency. Blockchain applications, for example, in supply chain, to reinforce traceability and secure authentication are already piloted and in use in some companies across the globe. As you might have noticed in my personal introduction slide, I am also a member of the advisory committee at WiseKey, an interesting Swiss company located in Geneva, which has more than 30 years experience in the cybersecurity space and which is actually doing some very interesting work in devices and using blockchain to secure transaction or providing blockchain-based secured identity for people or for devices. Of course, blockchain has a huge potential which has already been recognized at the highest level in China in the space of digital payments too. Blockchain is not peripheral in China. It is mainstream. It is for SMEs and individuals as well as for big companies. The Chinese government launched the Blockchain Service Network this year, the world's largest blockchain initiative, and Ant Financial and others are putting it to work. It also declared blockchain as a national infrastructure. 5G and blockchain infrastructure investments in China are in fact the new roads, highways and bridges paving the way of the new post-coronavirus recovery. In the past, countries have built many roads, highways, bridges and other concrete infrastructures to restart the damaged economy after financial crisis or wars. Those activities were intended not only to provide work to affected people, cities, regions or countries, but also to build new connections between them and create new opportunities and business models. The same is going to be developed and nurtured by the new 5G and blockchain infrastructure in China. Here again, I'm also quite proud to have talked about blockchain technology in Beijing already in November 2018, when many people around the world were still thinking that it would only be a hype. Why blockchain is still lagging in terms of standard and governance? I was saying at that time that China doesn't have to wait for the rest of the world to define it. But with the population of 1.4 billion of people, they could go ahead and define their own standards and governance. But interoperability, standards and governance are becoming a huge challenge when trying to connect all those pieces together. I still have a vision of a plug-and-play platform to address that key challenge. Cosmoplat highest mass customization model is indeed one of the best examples trying to address that kind of challenge, if not the best, actually. The user experience is not only at the center, but I would even say above that concept, which is connecting various devices and information from sources like your washing machine when it comes to clothes, your fridge when it comes to food and supplies, power and temperature management when it comes to your home, healthcare and many others. Cosmoplat is the pre-configured professional platform delivered with 7 nodes. Interactive customization, open innovation, precision marketing, module procurement, intelligent production, intelligent logistics, and intelligent service. By the way, just remember in my presentation when I was giving some key aspects of intelligent versus smart. Intelligent is an inherent quality, an innate ability. It is native and comes already at your birth. That is also what Cosmoplat is delivering, a native intelligent platform. Now let's move to smart recovery. What do I understand under smart recovery? Take smart home, for example. Based on the previous Cosmoplat graphic, all those various home sensors from your washing machine, dishwasher, fridge, air conditioning, and many others are providing information to the Cosmoplat platform, which in returns provide insight and actions to improve the customer satisfaction. Another example would be smart transportation. Thousands or millions of sensors or cameras, for example, will not only provide you with information regarding public transportation, traffic lights, accidents, roadwork and other traffic jams, parking, gas station, electric vehicle charging station, but based on the huge amount of data collected through those devices, it would, for example, also provide alternative routes or information about the best time to leave your home or office. Next example could also be smart manufacturing, sometimes also called Industry 4.0. The combination of sensors, captors and meters generating big data mostly hosted in the cloud and processed with the help of artificial intelligence, including machine learning, is going to enhance and improve quality, OEE, and consequently the factory output. Next one could be smart finance, sometimes also called fintech, from insurances, loans, investments, and many other financial products to blockchain, as already mentioned before. Take now those 4 domains out of many more so-called smart domains and see each of them as an overarching sensor of many other sensors. Smart recovery, in my vision, would indeed be a kind of super brain and super AI above all those various smart domains to process that huge amount of data and to provide insights to quicker recover from the unprecedented economic impacts resulting of not only in China but the worldwide coronavirus crisis. It would be able to adapt to new emerging habits and business models which were born or reinforced during the crisis, like home office, online teaching, home deliveries, and so on. Most importantly, it would also provide meaningful information about where to invest time and resources right now and where not to drive a more efficient recovery and business restart, combining insights and information from the finance space, manufacturing and supply chain, environmental, as well as your home or surroundings. Plenty of data is there, but you might be blindly hitting the ground again and running potentially in the wrong old known direction, instead of looking towards completely different and new directions. Smart home is a sensor. Smart transportation is a sensor. Smart manufacturing is another sensor. And smart finance is another sensor in itself. Indeed, smart cities is already a combination of smart home, smart transportation, smart government, and many others. Therefore, smart recovery would just be another extension, adding more smart domains like smart manufacturing, smart agriculture, smart travel, and many others to build and boost smart China. My new definition of smart for China is S for Sino, M for modern, A for accelerated, R for recovery, T for track. Sino, modern, accelerated recovery track. The new national high-speed train. We have all heard also about the impact of the coronavirus crisis in terms of acceleration of our digital transformation. While it might have sounded like a joke, it is not a joke at all. Plenty of new business models have emerged or were reinforced during the lockdowns, and life after COVID-19 will never be the same as before. But it is a lot up to us to see it as an opportunity rather than a threat. Supply chain, by definition, is about demand and supply. It was most often based on historical and past data. The brutal coronavirus crisis, with rapid lockdowns, closed borders, closed businesses, has also shown how quickly we were sometimes able to react and adjust, like building hospitals in Wuhan in only a few days, or producing millions of required masks or disinfection gels within days in factories which were not planned for that. Indeed, crisis in China is called Wei-Ji, where Wei means danger or threat, and Ji means opportunity. And let's conclude with another wonderful ancient Chinese proverb, which is saying, a crisis is an opportunity riding the dangerous wind. Thank you, and feel free to reach out to me directly via WeChat, LinkedIn or email if you need more information or would like to discuss further about that topic. 非常谢谢你。